Yeah.
Right? All the way back. I don't know nothing about that.
Hey, look, it don't matter. What's going on, kings, queens, and phenomenal beings? It is another episode of Felon to Phenomenal podcast, uh, giving you the game, giving you the information, providing you with inspiration, connecting you with resources if you about that life. From going to Felon to Phenomenal, I am your host, your reentry specialist, uh, your life coach, Coach T, and I'm joined by my brother who is on his own mission to achieve all that it is that he wants to achieve because he is no longer tied down by the label of felon. He is phenomenal. Give it up for Terrence. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get the sound effects in here.
I'm, hey, we good for that with the sound effects you got right now. I was about to join you on that sound effect thing right now. I almost beat you. You beat me to the punch though. Purr, 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 purr.
Yeah,
I like
you
that.
didn't know when I was gonna come in. You know when I was ready for it, man. Uh,
What? I kind of see. I see the punchline coming in. See, I was about to jump in there. I
hey,
see.
look, I was freestyling. You didn't even know. You didn't even know. I do
Come
have.
on. Wait a minute. Come on. Don't act like you don't know how the freestyle game used to go. When you know somebody flow, when they about to come in, you about to say the word with man back. Come on, see, don't act like you don't remember.
Well, look. Everybody may not be as good of freestylers as somebody from Houston, Texas. I freestyle is different. It's definitely fun and entertaining. But anyway, before we get too far off on the tangent, I just wanted to say I may have a guest joining us. If not, it's okay because I got a topic for today. You hear me? Man, it is a good one too. Look.
I can't wait.
He might interrupt it, but we can catch it up. I might ask his opinion on it if he tap in anyway. So let me find it. So it's a guy by the name of Liddell Grant. You familiar with the story you heard about Liddell?
No.
All right, we're about to get into it.
Okay.
So Texas man, 46 years old, previously exonerated in a fatal stabbing that he did not commit, exonerated by the Innocence Project for a crime that happened in like 2010. Got exonerated in 2019. Has now been arrested for deadly shooting in a road rage incident. This ain't even funny. This ain't
What?
even funny, but it's funny. So I'll read a little bit more of the highlights. A Texas man who was exonerated for a 2010 stabbing outside of a bar. Uh, he was not guilty. Like I said, the Innocence Project, helped him, finding other evidence, freeing him from being, the prime suspect or being charged with the crime. But here we are. I meant to look up to see if they even gave him a check for his time of being unlawfully arrested.
Right. Because you
But
know that's the
my
next route that
thing
they take.
is, uh, let me see. Grant has been running his own. Oh, his defense is now arguing that he was running his own home cleaning business for the last 6 months and has been helping his mother. But granted, he's just been out since 2019. Uh, but yeah, here we are, 2023. He shot and killed somebody in a road rage incident. So, before I add any more context or details of my opinion, you just hearing that story, my guy. What comes to mind? Because boy is not phenomenal. He is just a felon, okay?
Most definitely that. I don't see. Man, I don't know. There's a lot of things that come to mind when that pops up. That's crazy right there. Like, how can you manage to get yourself into situation? For one, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You wait a minute. How did you even?
Okay, well let me go ahead. Let me just add a couple of things in there. So
Okay,
he was exonerated, and the Innocence Project helped him, get out. Um,
right.
I haven't done all my research, but from a source that I have, no, he didn't commit the crime that the Innocence Project helped him be free from, but he did have priors before that one. So all I'm saying is, Innocence Project, holla at me, because obviously y'all need a tool like Felon to Phenomenal to be able to decipher if the people that y'all helping are of the character and quality of someone who should re-enter society after prison, probation, and parole. Because yeah,
Mm.
he wasn't guilty of that crime, but he was guilty.
Right.
And
And
then the fact that he comes out and wants to have a gun, that means you're not about change, sir, because that's a legal
absolutely
thing
not.
to have.
Because that's the first thing. I'm like, what are you doing with a gun? You shouldn't
But
even be in a situation like
to
that.
be honest, if he's fully exonerated, I mean, I think he has priors. I don't think that I don't think that expunged his past. So therefore, um,
So you don't know his
I don't.
priors then.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if he should not have had a gun, or whatnot. But yeah, so just hold that, and I'm gonna bring in my guests. See my guests have popped in the chat, and I'm gonna throw them in here. So what's going on, people? People, welcome, welcome to the chat, Mr. Dwayne Roberts, man. He is a fellow extreme execution coach, and I've met this young man, and we have collaborated. And he has an event on April 22nd that is online, and I would like any of you and all of you to register and come get some of this information and inspiration inspired by the mind, by the brilliance of my brother Dwayne Roberts. What's going on, my man?
What's happening, fine folks, man? That's a fabulous intro, man. That's way too much. I'm humbled to be here, man. I appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Introduce you to my co-host Terrence. That's my brother.
What's
Nice to meet
happening,
you.
Terrence?
Going
Same here,
on.
brother. Not much.
Yeah, man. So yeah, well, we'll definitely get into what you got going on and a little bit more about you. But we were talking a little bit about the what is it, Lydell,
Lydell,
yeah,
yeah.
Lydell Grant situation here in Houston, Texas. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not. Tell me more.
Okay, so there's a guy, Lydell Grant, age 46. He was exonerated from a murder that happened in 2019. He was I mean, sorry, the murder happened in 2010. He did about 7 years in prison, 7 or 8 years. He was exonerated in 2019. But within the last week here, he murdered a man out of road rage.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was exonerated through the Innocence Project, and we were just kind of talking about, the ins and outs of how that happened. Because I was saying that Innocence Project needs a program like Felon to Phenomenal to facilitate character of the individuals that they're helping, because word is that Mr. Grant had priors. So even though he wasn't guilty of that particular murder, he was guilty of something, and they have to have a better way of assessing if somebody's really ready to re-enter society and put their past behind them.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I just
no.
thought that was a wild factor, man. Now he actually killed somebody.
You know what? The first time you said that to me, I missed the fact that he was incarcerated for those 7 years. So being that he was incarcerated for 7 years and then exonerated and making that mistake, that is very, very like wow. That's crazy.
I know it's a lot to process,
Then
right?
it
What you
is a lot to process because wow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it is. You're right. You guys right. It is a lot to process, right? But and I like what you said. And it should be a process to make sure that people are going back into society equipped and prepared, right? But then too, this is a personal journey. Each step that we take each day is about, at least from my perspective, is getting better. What can I do today to be better than I was yesterday? And if you never do the work, regardless of what you didn't do, it can come back to haunt you because you lack some simple principles and values for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, coming in dropping jewels early. I love it.
I mean, I hate it. I hate to hear that type of story, man, because
Right.
I don't want to see nobody behind locked up. That's not a place for anybody. I got it. We got this world out here is cruel, and yes, this is checking second chance month, and I believe in giving people opportunity, and at the same time, yes, sometimes you're gonna have to pay the price for some of the mistakes that you've made, you know. But when moving forward, I think that at the same time, you're gonna have to implement what's most important. Is it having it my way, or is it being able to support and be here for the ones I love the most?
Right.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like he has some emotional management to take care of to be reacting off of road rage with violence like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
Yeah, it sounds like it's some bitterness and some frustration that was built up in those 7 years for him being incarcerated
well, he's
behind
been
those.
out for 4. He's been out for 4, and I'll double check because I do believe with the Innocence Project, sometimes you get money. I'll double check to see if he even got cut a check, for the wrongful conviction.
well, yeah, he probably did get a check for the wrongful
Oh,
conviction,
he
but
definitely.
not being able to process. I mean, I got it. It's one thing to have money, but you don't know what to do with that kind of money. You know, and I
Right.
don't care if it is 6 figures or 5 figures. If you ain't had no money in a few years, man, it ain't gonna take long for that thing to go, and now you back in the predicament, and he may have never had the resources or utilized the resources. Let's just put it that way. Maybe he lacked utilized the resources that was available because he was comfortable with where he was.
I think
Absolutely.
that's a good point right there, Dwayne, because that's one thing that people fail to realize is that because the first point that you made is that it takes you as an individual first to take that first step and desire to have a personal change. The resources is there. It might not be the way that you want it. It might not be what you think that it should be, and it might not be as beneficial as it is. I had taken 8 classes multiple times and yet fail to realize every time on how generally the information that they was given was beneficial to a person's life, knowing that addiction itself is just a substance period alone that it caused a person to lose control over your own life, and that's one of the things. So if he wasn't taking advantage in those 7 years with those resources, when he came home with that money and getting that freedom, he showed himself not ready for society and
Yeah.
fit. Yes, and why they need a coach T in their life.
Ah, well, that's good. We gonna talk about Coach Dwayne right now, man. I
Oh my
want the people to
gosh.
get to know you a little better, man. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you became affiliated with people reentering society, and a little bit about yourself, my man.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Again, it's fabulous to be here. Just a little bit about me, man. Shucks, where do I start? Let's go. Let's keep it simple, right? I Shucks. I'm a vet. I'm a veteran, man. And while on active duty, I caught a felony charge, man. That 3 years conviction. I served 60 days behind bars. Uh, but it was in that moment for myself personally. I had a God awakening moment, and I can hear the Lord speaking to me, asking me, what do you see?" And I looked around the pod, and I was like, "Man, I see men." And he said, "What else do you see?" I said, "I see men with potential." And in that, he said, "What else do you see?" And not really coming up with too many answers. I realized that at that moment, at that time, that I was one of those men with potential behind bars, you know. Um, and I'll be honest, that wasn't where I really wanted to be. I realized that there had to be more for myself in life, man. So coming off of active duty, I decided to, figure this thing out called purpose. What does purpose look like in my life, man? Um, Sitting on the back of the porch, frustrated, aggravated, annoyed with the system, the inability to find work, feeling like the resources wasn't there, and losing jobs. I mean, I think I lost about 3 jobs once they did the background check. See, you had a felony charge. You lost a job. One job I had been on for almost 12 months, moving up the ranks, uh, supervisors, lead positions to supervisors, moving up into management position. And they was like, you know what, you got to go, and that was one of the drawing points. Matter of fact, the last job I actually had, it was I lost it like 3 days before Christmas, and I simply recall walking out of the door and I looked up to the heavens, and I just looked up, and how where enough is enough. I don't know what else to do. That was the look I had. I didn't know what else to do, and this is what I was doing. I was looking up, and I was like, I guess you got something else for me because I don't know what else to do. Sitting on my back porch, broke, hurt, embarrassed. Um, Feeling like a failure. I was trying to drink myself into a stupor. I was drinking America's finest Bud Light. I was smoking. I was smoking a Black and Mild wood tip, and I was rolling a fatty. I mean, I was trying to waste away the woos. I didn't want to feel the pain. I didn't want to feel the hurt. I felt insufficient. I felt less than. I'm married. How am I going to provide for my family? I got 3 beautiful girls. What are they gonna? What do they think about their dad not able to provide or give them the things that they wanted? All of this was just going through my head, man. And I was listening to the tunes of Otis Redding. Y'all remember that joint, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay? Yeah, I was
Mhm.
listening to them tunes, man. And there's a little version in that song, the hook, where he says, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay wasting time. And that's when it clicked for me that I just was allowing my time, my life to pass me by. The truth was, I had no goal, I had no aim, I had no vision for life. You know, I ran in a house and I wrote 3 words down, and these were the changing factors for my life: vision, plan, execute. From that point to today, man, I've had a vision. I run an organization called Men of Vision Colorado for formerly incarcerated men, helping them in personal development, helping them in leadership development, things of that nature. Because I believe that when you begin to lead yourself well, because it starts with the man in the mirror, you'll be able to lead those that you love the most well. You'll be able to lead and make the impact in your community that you desire. And so that's what I do, man. That's who I am, and this is what I do.
Man, I appreciate you so much for digging deep a little bit and sharing the struggles that you had, man. That's what people really need to hear, man. We don't have these real conversations, and especially men being vulnerable like that and sharing, you didn't know what to do and you were partaking in everything, but you caught message, still in tune and still paid attention because deep down you wanted more. And that's amazing. So yeah, that's good stuff. So, what's the organization again? I'm trying to
Me,
Men of Vision, Colorado.
Men of Vision, Colorado. All right, and that's in Denver, Colorado. You're in Denver.
I'm in the Springs. I'm in Colorado Springs.
Okay, Colorado Springs.
Yeah, we about 45 minutes out of Denver.
So, like, tell me how Men of Vision. How did that birth? And what is the vision for the men? The Men of Vision.
Man, that's a good question. Um, how did it birth out of being broken? It birth out of locating and identifying purpose for life. Um, that's how it birthed. The vision is to reach 1 million men, to help them impact and find purpose for life. I literally believe that men lack vision because they can't see where they want to go. They have they don't. Let's just say this: they don't have a vision for themselves, and many of these men that come out of incarceration are married. They got families. Ready? If you ain't got a vision for yourself, you ain't got a vision for your family. You live in life aimlessly. You ever woke up on a Saturday morning and asked yourself, "Man, what we gonna do?" Everybody looking at you for something to do, and you like, "I don't know." That's because you don't have a vision. You had no plans. You had no goals. You're just waking up every day, going through the motions. And so it's about helping men find purpose, find uh, identify who they truly are, by digging deep, being vulnerable, asking the hard questions, and be willing to be transparent and honest, and say, "Hey, you know what? I don't know." Because I believe not knowing is okay. It's okay not to know. The problem is it's not knowing, but not doing anything about it to know. You can't stay in that position. You're gonna have to try to figure out something.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. What you got something, T?
Yeah, I have a question. 90 days in, you said you spent for your felony, correct?
Correct. About 60 days. It was actually 60
About
days.
six.
Yeah.
Okay, about 60 days. That's
Yeah.
still a long time. My question is, while you was there, what clicked? Like, what did you experience? What did you feel? What did you think when you was there those 60 days that you was like, this is not the place for me?
Uh, I'll be honest. From the
Please.
time I walked in, I knew that wasn't the place for me. Yeah, I'm gonna be 100. I'm a
Okay.
half. I tell people often I'm a halfway crook. Yeah, I grew up in the hood. Yeah, I slung dope. I I I did it all. I robbed, I stole, I carjacked, you name it, I did it, right? But I did it because I was following people. I wasn't doing it because I was true to it. If I can, I'm a halfway crook. Is that all right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, so so when I got into the county lockup, it didn't take long because I'll be honest, I was a military dude. I was a veteran. Ready? My mom literally picked me up from my house one day. I came some years ago. She literally picked me up from the crib, took me with her one day, and said, "Hey, we're going to the recruiter office." This was like on a Thursday. I went down to the recruiter station. I passed the ASVAB. Monday morning, I was in uh, South Carolina going to basic training. Literally, that's just a short story, right? The day I left, the day she came to pick me up, I had two duffel bags. Well, I ain't gonna. I mean, not incriminate.
You were still out the streets. You were
Yeah.
still yeah.
But I was thugging. I was in it deep the day she picked me up. You know what I'm saying? To take me with her, and I walked away from everything because the truth of the matter, I had a childhood vision for myself. I had always seen myself going into the military. I always knew that was something I wanted to do. I just grew my environment, everything around me caused me to do what everybody else was doing in life versus finding
Right.
myself.
That's real good. That's real good.
Yeah.
That's
The
real good. That's real
what?
good right there. That sounds like everything that your ministry is pinpointing. For
Yeah,
one, the first thing you said, that, in the moment that you got there, you recognized who you was and who you wasn't. Then you was reminded after that of what you seen yourself before you became, I don't really want to use the word corrupted, but conditioned by the environment that you grew up in, that kind of taught you that this is the way that you have to live and survive in life. And from that point on, you was like, how can I get back to that point of what I seen myself or what I seen for my life before that? That's real good. and
yeah.
and I and I say that because I have a criminal background. I did, man, I did 8 years flat, and I've been in and out of the county numerous times consecutively. And a lot of people would brag about the certain length of time that they would go in the shortage of someone else's time. But when I did those 8 years, every day that I woke up in that penitentiary, I felt like I did the first day I walked in there, knowing that I wasn't going to leave for a nice significant amount of time. So when you sharing that authentically and honestly about that it doesn't take numerous times in order for it to change what's deep down inside of you that is to be and what is not to be, man, it's good for people to hear. That's really why I wanted to ask that question, because I'm
Oh,
trying to get a good understanding on that too.
that's real good. I appreciate that. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about it from that point of view. What you just how you explained it to me. But yeah, it's true. I always knew where I always had something I knew I wanted to do from a childhood. I mean, think about it. Many of us. wanted to be little police officers or doctors or a firefighter or something, right? I just remember as a kid, man, I was rolling around with a stick in my hand playing G.I. Joe, and so that is all that's always been who I am. And so when moms came and took your boy to the recruiter, it was a no brainer for me. It was literally a no brainer. It was what I wanted to do. The problem was I was so stuck in my environment. I kept doing things the way everybody else kept doing them. I wouldn't challenge myself to push out of the environment. Somebody had to come take me and pull me out of the environment.
That's good stuff.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's
That's
good.
real good.
So when you start to make your transition, what were your tools? What were your resources that you reached out for, or that somebody shared to you to kind of facilitate that mindset change? Because you just said it right there. You wanted to, but you didn't even have the strength to push yourself out. So now making that transition, shoot, how did you do it?
How did I do it? The pain, man. The pain was enough. It was unbearable enough that the truth of the matter is, I didn't want to fail my wife, who already, eh, eh, who was already embarrassed, who was already hurt, who was already dealing with her own issues because of me. You know what I'm saying? And then, needless to say, I didn't want to fail my kids. I didn't want to fail my kids. So it that me pulling, getting myself together and pulling myself together was I want to say it was easy. It just was a made up mind. It was I'm not going down that road. That's not the life I want to live. The very essence when I joined the military, the yeah, that when I joined the military, I literally left that environment behind. What I mean by that, I left the bricks, I left the money, I left the environment. I never went back. The day I took the ASVAB, passed the ASVAB, Monday morning, I was on a flight. Ready? I didn't even go get no clothes. I grabbed nothing. I went. I literally ran from that environment because I knew what I wanted to do. Um, unfortunately, I still wasn't the person I needed to become while on active duty. You know what I'm saying? Because while I was progressing, I was doing well in the military, but there was still that inkling of me who kept doing, who wanted to be, who still wanted to be connected to the old me. I didn't know what the new me didn't feel comfortable. The new me didn't while I was doing great things, while I was serving my country, the old me was trying to still do things the old way, and you can't do new things with old mindsets. you know,
Mm.
you can't do new things with old mindsets. You're gonna have to develop the outlook. And so, to your point, Coach T, I just picked up a book. I picked up a book. The first book I read that literally opened my eyes to what I can really do was a book by Mark Batterson, In a Pit on a Cold Snowy Day with a Lion.
Well, that's the title.
Yeah, in
In
a
a
pit.
pit on a cold,
Co-
snowy day with a lion.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That that was the book that changed my life. That was the book that made me realize that I can do anything if I put my mind to it. If I would go after it.
Well, a book with that title got all that in there, huh?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty interesting read. I often share this with the guys I mentor and coach, and the book talks about this amazing dude who was part of King David's army by the name of Benai. He was a general in King David's army, and it's a small section in the good book, right? About two scriptures that talk about him, two verses that talk about him, and what he did. But when you know his history, you know that he was actually a general in the King David's army. And I often ask myself, what would cause somebody to go chase after a lion? When you think about chasing a lion, that's the last thing anybody trying to do. Lions are predators. You know, they not easy to even sneak up on. They know you there before you know you there. You know what? They
Right,
know you
right.
there before you know they there. What you know what I mean? And here's this guy in some sandals, a mini skirt, you know, and he chasing after this lion, you know. And I asked myself, why would he do that? I believe the only reason that you chase after the lion is because you're trying to find your courage. You're trying to find the courage to go after that big audacious dream, goal, or vision in your life. You know, many of us are held or limited about going after the things that's most important. Here, let me help you better understand that. I would have never went to the military if it wasn't for my mom. That was my dream, my vision for myself as a kid, you know,
Mhm.
and trying to separate myself from my past and move into a brighter future. I realized that you're going to have to go after some things that scare you. You're going to have to start putting some things together in your life that's going to move you into purpose. You know, um, the end state of this the book, when I really, if I had to put my own twist on it, is that um, Benai found his courage. He went after the thing that he was probably the most scared of, and wind up being the most fierce uh, military commander for King David, because he chased after the thing that scared him the most.
Okay, okay. Well, that's what's up, man. That's good. What you looking at? T? You got some, he quoted the Bible wrong. That's my Bible expert. What you say?
Ah, it's
Look, I had to check in with my Bible expert. He got all the resources.
it's like, if you're looking for a T, it's in Second Samuel. I just can't remember what chapter. It's a
I
small.
quoted in my head. That's why I was looking. It
Oh,
was in
okay, oh,
Second
Yeah,
okay.
Samuel.
Oh, you was
But I was,
agreeing. Okay, you was
I
agreeing. Okay.
was, and I was writing down in my
Oh, look,
book.
he was taking a mental note. He gonna go back and study that. He gonna go back. And
yeah. It's only two little verses about this dude, man. But when if you start doing a search on who Benai was, you start understanding who he actually is. Um, so
Okay. Well, I'll definitely have to take that book, man. He hit it nail on the head. He had his one book. I had to think about that. What would be my life changing book?
I
But
had to
you
think
know,
about that too.
while you were adding those nuggets and talking about the change, I want to talk about the next level success summit, man. We got to tell the people April 22nd online. Hit up the website. I'll put it in the description. But talk about how that came about, what you gonna have, how we gonna do it, and invite the people out, man.
all right, thank you. Listen, don't miss it. That's all I'm going to tell you. You don't want to miss this. The Next Level Success Summit. We got five amazing speakers coming, and Coach T. Not only she going to DJ, but she gonna drop some knowledge on you too, right? But it's all about igniting your power. It's helping you tap into purpose and fulfill your potential, man. So many, like I said, yeah, so many people are stuck, but most people just don't know where to start, right? We don't know where to start. So the Next Level Success Summit, 5 facets to a fabulous future. We're going to help you get jump started on your faith, your future, your family. We're going to look at these your fitness. We're going to look at these 5 F's and help you really identify for yourself, where do I need to start. And it doesn't matter where you want to start. It's your choice. You know, if your family is important for you, you're gonna get some simple principles, tips, and strategies that's gonna help you propel and take that next step in your life. And that's what it's about, man. It's designed to help the formerly incarcerated community, recovery community, veterans, you individuals out there that's just saying, you know what, I want to make my next move in life my best move in life.
Absolutely. And I just
What
want to
what
reiterate. Oh, will you hold
what
your thought? You gonna remember, T? Because
yeah.
it's a quick reiteration. Because I just want to reiterate, man. I introduced him before as my extreme execution brother and coach. Also, ET Game Changers. I mean, we are all affiliated, with the number one motivational speaker in the world. This is the community that I'm grateful to be attached to and connected with. not only myself, Dwayne, and other people that are part of the next level of success. Like we do this, like we have been bred, we have done our own time and our own transformation, and just providing this information to our people, our communities who don't get it. Everybody gets it all the time, and it's free. People, it's free. So go ahead, T.
What time is the summit?
The summit takes place April 22nd at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thank you for that. Yeah, Mountain Standard Time. You can go over to the webpage and register. I'll let you drop that in the link. Oh, it's up there. Yep, that's it.
Oh yeah, I
Go.
got the web page
Yeah,
up there
yeah,
right now, but I definitely
yeah.
put it in the description when I post it on YouTube and the other places you can find the podcast. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And Coach T hit it on the nail on the head, man. We connected to a fabulous community, Eric Thomas and Associates. And we evolved, well, majority of the speakers been through the Game Changer program, and many of them are in the Eric Thomas's Extreme Execution program. So what I did was I went to go grab the best of the best. They were trained by the best, and I knew that they will bring their best, put their best foot forward in supporting this. So I truly appreciate it, Coach T, for your support, man.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you on here just to talk a little bit about, what you got going on, how you impact your community, your family, your life. And yeah, just sharing as much as we can with the people to let them know, look, you walking amongst people who have overcome the things that you struggle with every day. And I'm just trying to let you know we here so you can reach out and get that support, get this information. Like I know it's out of the norm. I know it's not what we ordinarily do. I know you unfamiliar. I mean, those of you, but hit the link, sign up, and see like the unknown. Like there's possibilities. Like what do we learn today? Uh, embrace the infinite possibilities of success.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? That's from our training. See, y'all think we don't get trained? Me and Dwayne, we had a training at 6 o'clock today.
Yeah,
We become the student and then we become the teacher. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
That
yeah,
was a phenomenal training too.
it
Yeah,
was. It
yeah.
really was.
Good
Y'all
work.
can't get access to that. Y'all have to. You gotta get into your what is it? The you gotta get out the grasshopper stage and become the sensei. Yeah, we're not sensei stage. Y'all still grasshoppers. You gotta get the wax on, wax off down. Gotta get that joint down. Then you can come over there with Mr. Miyagi and us.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, man. You got any more questions for my boy Dwayne T?
No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, you got any questions for us, man? Comments? How you
Uh,
feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. This is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I just love collaborating with people and those who do it great, man. And I know I've watched your show numerous of times, couple of times since we connected. And this is it's just rewarding. I've told you before, you and Terrence, they got phenomenal chemistry. And I love what y'all bring to the people, man. It's real, it's authentic, and I promise you you need to have this and this whenever you sit. Y'all can see it.
Yep,
Get that pen and pad, man, because you never know what you can take away, what jewel you can take away and apply in your life, man. Yeah.
absolutely, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that, and I appreciate you, man. And that's all I got. You got something to?
I'm
All right, man. Well, shoot, we're gonna wrap this thing
I
up,
had
man.
what
I
I had. This
hope
is
to see
beautiful. Yeah.
the registration go up for April 22nd. Hope to see all of y'all in the building to get that information and ignite your future. And shout out to my guy Dwayne for joining us on the Felon to Phenomenal podcast. And that's out. Like what I say, be productive, be impactful, and use your mind. I said I got to close that out a little better, but the point is be critical thinkers, okay?
Come on.
Once once you start practicing long enough,
Yeah,
you get
I'll
it.
figure it out.
That's
I'll
how
figure
it
it
is.
out. But until
That's
next time.
yeah.